So this is video number 4 in the Southwest Ridge series, and I start out here finishing on the eastern exposure, still heading north here along the ridge, and then I make the turn. It's a pretty sharp turn up here, and it's fun to continue going north and head out, but this is where the trail would fork and take a right there and keep going north, and I turn here and go. And now the trail starts to turn back, and you'll see the sun in my eyes as I turn and head south and west. And now the trail winds along the ridge on the western exposure. It's not as steep and as exposed, but the terrain is just as technical, and the trail that was built is just as interesting. And I don't know how much of this I want to narrate. I think it's fun to have some insights, but like this little spot right here, that's about a 3-foot drop that just went over, and it looked like nothing in this video. I'm constantly surprised at both how much detail there is, but also how much different the size and depth perception are with the lens and the perspective that it gives in this video. I've, on this section, cut out a lot of the trail that's not more technical or exposed. The views aren't as nice over here, and so I didn't keep as much of the tape running. I just kind of used it to show transitions or interesting sections where the trail takes sharp turns or has rocky technical exposures. And there are several spots where it starts to drop and roll, and the bulk of this side of the trail is downhill. There's still some climbs as you work your way around to come down off the mountain, but certainly the bulk of it is downhill. So you climb up to the top, you roll along the ridge, and now you wind around the backside and start heading downhill. So a lot of this is down, but it's just as interesting and rocky and fun as the rest of the trails. And I hope that for those of you that are watching that are interested in seeing all of the trail, I hope that it's been worth your time, and for those of you who just wanted a taste, I hope that you're not even listening anymore and boring yourselves with what I do. But this is a fun little section where the lower trail stays right, but you can ride up high here like I did onto the rock, and that's really enjoyable. And then a little bit of speed here along this really rocky, exposed ledge, and then this drop right there is another 3 or so foot drop that looks like nothing in the video, but it's pretty exciting in person. There are some cliffs and some exposures here, but you're looking west into the rolling hills, and so you can see Red Rock off to the right and Mount Potosi off to the left as I come along here in the horizon that you can see. All of the land in between here and there is pretty barren, rolling, uninteresting terrain, and there are a couple of trails that go out there, mostly on this southern edge, just one, but not a lot of interesting trail. This is the best that's here. This little section starts to really drop down, and this is a fast, technical section. There's a little drop right there off that ledge. You're picking up quite a bit of speed into a tight corner here, and then a couple of rocky drops going right up against this little exposure, and then a quick little climb, and then some time to catch your breath and get a little bit of speed along this before what's really like a 4.5-foot drop right there. And it looks like nothing, but that was a really big drop, and if I'm not in the mood, a lot of times I'll go around. There's 3 options there. The far right is the one that I took today, the highest drop. The middle one to the left of that is about a 3-foot drop, and then on the far left you can just roll around and not have any drops. Little roller there that's kind of fun. You pick up some speed right here, and the trail forks. The trail to the left I'll show a different time. It's a newer trail, and it's got a lot more drops in it. Not as much technical exposed trail like this side. Most of the time I take this trail, I find it more interesting. It's more my style. The trail to the left is more fast and flowy with drops, but it's not as technical. And I tend to enjoy these more technical sections with the rocky outcroppings and exposures. This is one of the sections where you've got a pretty good drop off on the right and a pretty narrow trail that you're riding, and you'll see a couple of these turns here where I come around and there's not a lot of room between where I am and the drops on the right. And this little climb right here is a pretty interesting one. There's no real trail. You just climb up the side of the rock and then ride the edge of the exposed rock as it drops off to the left, trying to keep your traction. But the exposed rock is pretty grippy right there. Here in a second there's another little corner that you come around where there's not much of a trail either. I think it's right after you walk through this little section. There's another exposed corner up here. But these little ledges and things are so fun because they just roll along like that. And then it ends, and I'll have to finish the rest of it on the next one.